Antony Elanga could be set to leave Nottingham Forest to Newcastle. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. Coming up in today's video, I'll talk you through this whole Elanga deal, as he could be set to leave Forest to go to Newcastle, with one and maybe two potential players coming back the other way. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And don't forget to check out Football Prizes' latest giveaway, a signed Forest shirt with an insta win of either Yates' shirt or Kiate's shirt. Go check it out. The link's in the description. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so this is an interesting proposition that's going on right now. Now, let me start with my disclaimers, if you like. I'm not Elanga's biggest fan. I've made that clear throughout the season. I think he started off quite hot. I actually think he played better under Cooper than he did against Nuno. And I just think he seriously lacks footballing IQ. So I'm not against Elanga leaving. Now, I know that's probably an unpopular opinion in the Forest fan base. I think most people would like to see him stay. Let me know down below. Like, give me a rating out of 10 for what you'd give Elanga's season. And would you be willing for him to leave Nottingham Forest? These stories emerged this morning. They were in some of the mainstream papers. They were talking about a straight swap deal between Anderson and Elanga. Now, in terms of swap, Forest would probably still get some cash because Elanga is worth more money. And Newcastle are worried about the 30th of June deadline, so they do need to do some deals. Now, you may be wondering, how would a swap deal work? How does this help with PSR? Because if you're swapping for swapping, you're just cancelling each other out. Technically, no. What happens in a swap deal is that usually clubs will just overinflate the prices. So let me give you a quick maths example off the top of my head. Let's just call these two players for now. And these numbers are not related. These are just an example. So let's say Elanga is worth 60 million and Elliott is worth, Anderson is worth 50 million. Okay. If Forest and Newcastle between them inflate the price to 80 million and 70 million, the price differential is still the same. You get what I'm saying? 10 million. But what you can do within that is that you get the fees on your books. So Newcastle would get 70 million on their books instead of 50 million because we've overinflated the price. And then on amortization, they can reduce the fee of the Elanga down, so they end up with a bigger net profit. You get what I'm saying? So even though the gap is still the same in terms of money and cash handed, both clubs benefit on PSR. Now, it's not going to be inflated to 80 and 70. I'm just giving you some kind of examples of what clubs will do. Usually they'll overinflate it by like 5 million and no one really questions it. So swap deals are really good when it comes to PSR issues. Now, we know Forest are pretty much safe on PSR. My God, there's one day to go. We'll know it all. We'll know it all very shortly. But anyway, back to this deal. But it's believed that Anderson isn't that keen on leaving Newcastle. It's not so much that he's reluctant to join Forest, because obviously we're a bigger club. It's more so he doesn't want to leave Newcastle. Now, it's gone a step further. That's kind of what happened this morning. It's gone a step further now, and John Percy, the legend, has tweeted out saying, talks between Newcastle and Forest have also included Yankuba Minta and Elliott Anderson as a swap for Antony Elanga. Newcastle are reluctant to let Anderson go, but PSR concerns are significant. Ooh, Newcastle in trouble. Negotiations ongoing and nothing agreed at this stage. So there's a lot of talk. But what I like is the talk of Minta coming to Forest, because I like this kid. He's been out on loan at Feyenoord. He's played really well, scored quite a few goals, out on the wing, and he would kind of be the direct replacement, if you like, for Elanga. Now, some people say that's a downgrade. I get it, but I'm not against it. Why am I not against it? Because I feel like it makes me feel like Nuno and me are on the same wavelength. Now, that might scare a lot of you. It might scare a lot of you. Remember at the end of the season, I was saying, I get everyone likes Matt Sells, but he's just not doing it for me. And everyone was saying he should be our number one. And then boom, we go and get Carlos Miguel. By the way, that's still not kind of fully over the line, but it's nearly there. And then I've always said for the last 6 months, Elanga's footballing IQ just isn't it for me. And I do worry about it because I think you're born with football IQ. You either got it or you haven't got it. And I think we're seeing the Elanga that we saw at Man U, and he's going to hit that same glass ceiling that he hit at Man U at Forest. So that's why I'm not against it. Look, I'm not trying, I wouldn't be like putting Elanga on the first name in my firing squad either. I still think there is potential, but if he left, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. That would kind of be the best way I'd look at it. But I think this might move quite quickly in terms of, I'm not saying it's going to happen and get over the line, but I think it will come to a conclusion is probably the better phrase quite quickly with Newcastle, as John Percy said, having major PSR troubles. Now, what's interesting in what he said, he didn't talk about Forest being under major PSR troubles anymore, because we're not. By the way, if you didn't see our interview with Kieran Maguire, the legend, yesterday, make sure you check that out. I'll leave it on the end screen. So really, this is just a quick video update to let you guys know about the rumours. And I'm not going to lie to you, I ain't got my graphics guide today. I can't get everything done. So it's going to be just my ugly face that you guys have to stare back at for about 5 minutes or so. But I'm really intrigued to know what you think about this deal. Now, in terms of the valuations, let me give you that. By the book, Elanga's worth now about 20 million. So his price has gone up by about 5 million. Mr. Anderson is worth about 12 million. And Minter is worth about 13 to 14 million. So if Newcastle did the double player swap for Elanga, more than likely it will just be one wipes out the other. Or maybe Forest have to pay some pocket change. If Newcastle just tried to do it with Elliott for Elanga, which in essence wouldn't make too much sense for me because it's in different positions. So Elanga being a right winger, Elliott being a central midfielder, would technically mean that Forest then need to go and recruit another right winger. You see what I'm saying? But I've gone blank on his name now. With Minter coming back, then you could see there's a like for like replacement. But it does tell you the fact that these conversations are happening is that Nuno doesn't hold Elanga as the highest priority on the team, the team names. Or that Newcastle really want to pay us some money, or that Elanga himself wants to leave. There's a lot of ors, ifs, and buts. I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? I've basically been awake half an hour, so I'm just giving you the news as I see it now. Okay. So that's your update on that. Now, there are a couple of other Stokes in the fire right now. We're getting linked with Wesley Snipes, the Brazilian, who's also being linked with Spurs. I'll just give you that as a little teaser. We'll put an update out for you soon on that as that starts to develop. And there's one or two other things coming along as well. But I got to get out of here because I got to get up to Nottingham today. I got some stuff to do. If you're out and about in town and stuff and you see me, come say hi. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.